Hi, welcome to the show today. This is the Jenkins Art Studio, and my name is Catherine Jenkins. I'm glad that you could join us today because we're going to do something really special, and I don't want you to miss this one. So get your pads out of paper and your pens and take a lot of notes because you're really going to want to find out how this one is done from start to finish. Let's go to the one I'm working from today. This is a different idea. Gary and I are doing a few of these on this series, and this is something brand new to you. This is a photograph and a mat and oil painting all combined. The roses in the middle, this is called Double Delight, and a lot of you gardeners out there are familiar with that name. Double Delight is the name of the roses, and we've painted on the background around the photograph and then brought it out over a mat, and that will be glassed in, and people don't know whether it's a watercolor, a photograph, a painting, or what it is on your wall, but they're going to love it if you learn to do this idea. So I want to show you how we get started and how we arrive at this mat and this print. There's a few stages that you have to go through to get there. First of all, you go out in your yard and you take a photo. This allows all the photographers out there to get in on this, so you can be a photographer, a gardener, a painter, everything. I go out with my macro lenses out into our yard. We have lots of roses, and take a photograph, a close-up photograph, as good a photograph as you can possibly take of the roses, and then you go and take it to a copy store, copy machine, or a photo store that reproduces photos. Have it blown up into an 8x10. Or if you have a computer, as many of you do, you can put it on your scanner, the print, and have it blown up that way. And this is an 8x10 size. Now this is actual just glossy computer paper. But what we have up here today is canvas paper. And this is so great. A lot of you don't know that you can buy canvas paper for your computer now, and you can run the canvas paper off. And this is going to allow us to paint around the background on the canvas paper. We're going to leave our roses. That's our actual photograph. Now, when I took the photograph, it was almost all black in the background, just a few little green out of focus leaves. But we want to change this whole thing. This allows you so much flexibility. So you can change this. I could leave it a dark background and bring some leaves out, or I can change it and put a pastel background on. So that's what we're going to do today. And it's great fun, and this is a beautiful look if you're out there selling at outdoor shows. You can take all of your gorgeous photographs that you've had sitting in boxes for years. We have thousands of them. And you can start doing this and incorporate this with your painting, besides just using the photo for reference material. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a lot of fun, and it's real easy. I'm going to dip into a little medium. This is a number 20 Badger brush today. You could use a little smaller brush or a little larger, depending on the size of the photo that we're working on. And we're going to start out with some pastel colors. I've got all kinds of colors mixed up here. And as I go, I'm going to show you or tell you which color combinations we've mixed. Most of these colors out around the edge are all mixed with whites to give us this beautiful pastel colors. So first of all, let's start with this green. It's a green and yellow and white that I've mixed up together, very pastel. We're going to come up to the canvas and we're going to paint. Let's come in real close on this. And we're going to start painting very carefully. Now you'll want to go around the rows real careful. And we're going to just start painting. And I try to think of designs back here. And I'm going to go in and block a bunch of little colors in. Now I'm going to go down and pick up more color. I'm going to go into these blues. This is cerulean blue and white and a little ultramarine blue. And we're going to, sometimes I use the side of the brush, the edge of the brush. See how I wiggle that in? See that? And we're going to work these two colors together, and I'm just kind of thinking of abstract designs back here. Maybe up here we'll brush in. Sometimes I use a little medium, sometimes it's dry brushed. Now I'm not going to think about those leaves yet that I put in. I'm just getting some pretty color patterns out here. And you can just make anything you want back here. Little up and down strokes. And let's go over on this side and let's put some of this in. I'm going to reach down and pick up a little bit more medium. It goes on really, really good on this canvas paper, but it takes a little practice to learn how much medium to use and how much not to use. If it's not spreading easily for you, then that means you've got to add a little more medium. Medium just allows the paint to be thinned down a little bit. And I'm going to shoot a little blue up here. You know, if you wanted ideas of color for your backgrounds, just take some, look through your photos that you've taken and get ideas from all sorts of other photos for the backgrounds, and you'll see some gorgeous colors going on. Let's get some mauve and white, and I didn't even wipe the blue out of my brush, that's fine. And let's go down here. Now it's going to look really strange at first, but this is where you just get to paint and just experiment and have fun. You could take a little brush if you wanted to and sneak in around the flower, but today we're not going to do that right now. I just want some designs to change this whole look from a black background to a more abstract pastel background. I'm not doing any blending with a blender brush yet. I'm just having fun with it. Now be sure when you go in or go out in your garden and photograph that you take a very close, in focus picture. That's really important. I have macro lenses on my camera, and I can get some really, really sharp photos. I love photography. You probably know from seeing our shows for so long that I love photography, and I'm in my glory now because being that we've moved to Ashland, we have the most beautiful Victorian garden, and it is so much fun to go out there and do my gardening. Now I'm going to take a little mop brush, and we're going to start pulling these colors together. Now you can go crosswise, and you can go up and down, and just get some of it blended. Then you can put in shots of white or a light yellow into some highlighted areas, just to bring some areas out. Now don't forget, we're going to have leaves and buds and everything in here. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to go out over that mat. Oh boy, sometimes you'll say, oh, that's scary. What if I mess up the mat? Well, maybe try some practice ones on just some mat board that you haven't had cut yet. You can get scraps of mat board at your framer. You can walk into a framer and say, can I have some free scraps of mat board? And they'll be glad to get rid of it and give you all the mat board you want. And that's a great way to practice these strokes and practice the painting. Okay, I'm going to just go in here. Let's pick up a little color. I'm going to keep it quite pale. I'll tell you what, let's go over on this side. Let's go right here. And we're going to take the color that's in here, and I'm just going to pull it out and make some little designs up here. You can bring the color back in to the edge. And I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. And just experiment. You know, this whole thing is just experimenting. You know, it's great to know your basic strokes, your basics of painting, but a lot of painting is not just copying what someone is doing, but experimenting on your own. And that is really where you get a lot of neat ideas. Gary came up with this idea. He saw my photos one day, and he was looking at them, and he was sitting out at the computer, and he said, let's see what we could do if we put this on the scanner and blow it up and see what happens. And then we thought, we do a lot of custom framing where we mat the painting ourselves, or mat our prints rather, and he just started playing around and experimenting, and this is what happened. Now this is a much, much more modern look. Some of you may have not seen this at all, but I really encourage you to try it because it's so much fun. A lot of you out there, I know, are into more abstract painting, but you can learn painting from everyone. I'm picking up some straight medium now, straight medium. And you see that? I'm just putting medium on, grabbing the edge of the paint, and I'm bringing it out in soft, soft edges. See that? Just medium. Now I'm not going to go out over this whole border. Get some more medium, some more paint. I'm just going to go in places. Now we need to bring this color all the way down. Get rid of that black there. I'll just scoot in here and pull it up all the way around. And I'm going to go back in with some real dark, some green and sienna, or you could use black. And I'm going to pull some black or dark color right back down here. Let's get it even darker. Let's go in with the black. Go back to what we had on the background. Scoot around the roses. This is my favorite rose in the garden. We have so many roses, but I probably have several favorites, but this is one of my very, very favorites. Oh, there's our garden. Boy, it makes me think I'm home when I see that. This was our second year in Ashland, so my garden was still kind of, the flowers were kind of little. There we are, relaxing. We should be working in the studio. There's our studio in back of us. But we're just messing around, sitting there and enjoying the nice day. But we sure do enjoy our garden. Okay, and let's maybe up here get this all covered up. And like I said, this, every time you sit down and do one of your photographs like this, it's going to come out completely different, and you could try to make it completely different each time. I've just got some, let me go back up and get some, down and get some more white. Okay, and I want to get some real bright shots. So now we've really got an abstract background going. Now I'm gonna, let's try and get some leaves in and show you how to do over the mat with some leaves. Green, sienna, and come on up to the top. And we're gonna start way on the mat, and we're gonna use that chiseled edge, and we're gonna just draw a few stems. Or, you know what, we can take another brush. That works great, but I want to show you this other brush. This is a script brush, and you can make some nice stems coming off for the leaves. And let's do another one, maybe way over here. Just going to pull it out. Now you say, well, where do I get the idea for the composition? Again, go back to your other photographs, look at a photograph with leaves, get ideas, pull bits and pieces from other photos. I'm going to put a stem in while we're at it from these roses right here. Make a stem start on the mat, come down, and they kind of have little gnarly stems. Actually, they have pretty thick stems. And we'll bring maybe with the edge of the brush a little one out here, get this composition going. Maybe one over here that we're going to have for a bud. And we'll bring that stem down. Sometimes they have little, what do you call them? Thorns. Thorny guys. Yeah. Okay. And let's get back and start those leaves. And this is that little wiggle wiggle stroke up to the top of the canvas, and we're going to press, lift, and off. Press, lift, and off. Press and off. Press. See that? Wiggle, wiggle, lift, and off. If you see our technique tapes that I did, and sometimes Gary does technique, you'll see that how to make these. They're very simple. Whoops. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. This is a 12 Badger. And let's come up and get a few of these leaves. There we go, with a small brush. You can do these with all different sizes of brights. But if you see our technique tape or get the pattern, there is pattern packets we have available. They all have the real detailed instructions on how to do these leaves. Now those are the leaves on the top. And let's come out here and get a little stem right from the mat over and get some out here. Simple, simple. I'm going to pick up a little pink with that while I'm at it. And where else do we have little leaves? Well, that's about all. Not too many little leaves. Add a little pink. See what that does. Woo! Watch your tips. A little pink. And we've got some big leaves, so I'll go back to the larger brush. Sienna and green. And let's get some large guys. You fill in the center of the leaf. Okay, now that isn't spreading, so I'm going to reach down for a little bit more medium. And we'll get some large rose leaves. One out here. I just love this idea because, like I say, I just absolutely love to photograph. So it is so much fun. And people won't know whether you painted this rose in, whether you photographed it, or what. Just keep them guessing. See, a composition is already starting to evolve, and what have we done? Not that much yet. And you have a lot more time at home than I do to work on this. So you take your time, have fun, and remember to practice on those scraps of mat board. There we go. In a moment, we'll tint some of these leaves. And let's bring another one way out here. Another thing, did I tell you that this is a 16 by 20, so this is a standard size frame. You can go into a framer or a craft store and get a ready-made frame. They're called poster frames, and they have the glass or the plexiglass with them. They're very economical, and you just get it framed. Frame it yourself, actually. There we go. Let's put some pink on some of these leaves. Look at that. Just a little touch of pink, which ties in the pink of the roses to the leaves, which brings that pink out of the middle of the photo down a little bit. Okay, we've got some other. I'm going to go in with yellow and green. And let's do a few little leaves up. Oh, let's see. Let's put them right up here. Right up over the rose. Just a tiny bit. I'm going to cut over that rose to set the roses back a little bit. And that kind of sets them into the composition. Let's get even lighter with those. Yellow and white. Yeah. There we go. A little bit of lighter color. Sets them back. And where else do we have these guys? Oh, we've got two great big leaves right up here. Those are quite dark. Oh, maybe some crimson and green, or you could use sienna and green. And these, I'm going to darken right back in here next to the rose first. Get a real dark area. And then we'll go in and do two nice big leaves up here. Let's add some more green to that. Let's add some more green. But leave them very dark. And how about another one? Let's see. We can get my hand out of the way. Sometimes it's not always possible to paint so you can see it. And I'm going to put a little bit of highlight. How about some light blue on one of these to bring it in front of the other? There we go. It's coming along. And I want to thank a lot of you that call us and write us. We get a chance to talk to you personally on the phone, and we answer your letters. I try to answer when you write. I try to answer every letter, but sometimes you might get a letter from my secretary, but I promise you I read every single letter. And if you send us your photographs of flowers, maybe we can use them on the show sometime. We can either show them or we can work up a painting to do from your photograph and tell who you are. And I really want to get you all enthused about not only painting but gardening, because it is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with it. Okay, we've got a little bud let's take a real small brush. This is a number 8. This is a bright. And let's go back and get that stem. And now remember, we're bringing the stem down and just letting it stay down there, let it hang down. And we're going to bring it up over the rose petal and down again. It's just weaving in and out. And then you just flatten your brush out at the end. And then we'll pick up, let's rinse the green out of our brush and go into that nice rose pink color of the roses. And we're going to do a little bud down here. Just swoop, swoosh it around, kind of in a little circle. It's fatter at the base. Comes to a point. We'll put a little white and highlight it. Just leave a real ragged edge at the end. And then we'll pick up some green and yellow. And we'll use the flat of the brush and then come out to a point. You know how they have those really, really long calyxes on them. Some of them are just real, real long and real exotic. And other little guys, they don't have much going for them. But the rose is still pretty anyway. Now let's take some yellow and highlight in there just a little to bring it forward. There we go. Now, another thing I want to do is get some little accents way over on this side. And let's put a little blue, bright blue. No, let's get some pink because we're in a blue area over there. So let's do some pink and just bounce around and get some little light shots in here. I just feel in my pink mode. And I'm going to take a blender and brush that out. And another thing we can do, we can put some little sparkles. Often in photography, when you're shooting close up, you'll see in the background these little sparkly guys. Let's see, let's go in right here. Little sparkles. Sometimes you might, let's come over to this side right here. You might see little stars. You know what these are? These are the fairy dust, the rose fairy dust that shoots through, that you see in the background, the sunlight, or I call it fairy dust, and little dots. Now again, you have more time to work on yours and get these accents in. And you can even put dewdrops. Really pretty dewdrops on your rose petal. But I like to do the stars. And we'll knock that out of focus a little bit. And let's put one more little leaf over in this area right here. How about one coming out right here? Way out here. Whoops. Round those leaves off. To bring a little something out on this side. And we can take the twiggy brush again. This is that long script brush. And let's come up to the top and put some little garden twigs or vines. And just add some little tendrils coming out. And don't forget, you need to put these under glass when they dry. Frame them under glass or plexiglass. So that's about it. We're out of time today. So just have fun and experiment with this. I think you're really going to enjoy this new idea, this new technique. So I'm really glad you could join us. And don't forget to watch every single show. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Wilt u ook leren schilderen als Gary Jenkins? Bestel dan dit prachtige boek, vol met praktische schildertips en schitterende voorbeelden. Deze unieke uitgave heeft u al in huis voor €34,50. Ook kunt u voor dezelfde prijs een DVD bestellen waarop Gary stap voor stap uitlegt hoe u zijn schildertechnieken kunt leren. Kijk voor alle bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of teletextpagina 332.